Okay. Awesome, awesome. Well, welcome everyone. Happy Veterans Day to those of you who have served and are service to our country. We want to say thank you for your service. We didn't want to forget that today, and super excited to have you guys spend some of your Veterans Day with me and Travis here. We're both going to take turns just pouring into you about 20-ish minutes each. So make sure you have your notes, make sure you stay glued to this. You don't want to miss a word. And again, if you're just joining us, we already did give you guys permission to take any screenshots that you would like to. So diving right in, talking about this networking in the new normal, how has your year gone? I think all of us can say we've had to pivot in one way, shape, or another. And one of the best things that I did this year was stay in touch with Travis and be able to connect with him and see how he has grown and pivoted really beautifully in coming from being a networking expert, a motivational speaker, and thought leader, helping you become better people, leaders, and networkers. He was a keynote speaker, always engaging audiences as large as 3,000 people from all over the world in 49 different countries in person. For 14 years, Travis has been a high-level executive for global business networking organizations and breaking all sorts of records of achievement, both nationally and internationally. And even before that, he was known worldwide as the magician of networking. And we even had him doing a magic act for our kid's birthday party when COVID hit. And he's been able to do a lot virtually and still teaching and coaching the best business leadership minds across the country and how to do this thing called Networking in the New Normal, which happens to be the name of his book that he just hit Amazon bestseller. So he's the CEO of AGC, which stands for Accelerated Global Connections, which is the newest, hottest, fastest growing business networking organization in the country. And that's right, in the country. I'm actually going to be his point person out here in sunny San Diego. So super excited. They're based in Minnesota. And if you don't know this about Travis, he's achieved a lot of things. And I think one of the coolest stories, he's so humble, he would never tell you this. He set a goal one year to lose 100 pounds in 1 year's time. He not only accomplished that goal, he has kept the weight off, and he's competed in all sorts of competitive obstacle courses like the Mud Run, Warrior Dash, Rugged Maniac, Spartan, and all those fun things. But truly, my favorite thing is he's one of my best friends, and we've been able to actually do business together in this new normal. And he's going to share some amazing tips on how to do that and how to do that with excellence. So without further ado, Travis, take it away.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And again, yes, thank you so much to our veterans today and every day for that matter. Thank you for just providing the freedoms that we have to be able to do this. So thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and get my timer set up, and here we go. All right, so I want to dive right in because I want to make sure that we have all the time possible to give you everything that you want to know about networking in the new normal. And I'm super excited to do this with my friend Lois Kofi. She's my sister from another mister. We've traveled together, we've had fun together, but more importantly, we've really partnered well together to help impact other people in the way that they do business. So networking in the new normal. As you know, the entire world, not just our country, but the entire world was hit by coronavirus, COVID-19 in early March of this year. It sent the world spiraling out of control, and businesses were forced to close. We heard things like stay-at-home orders. We heard things like safer at home. We heard things like it's time to isolate. And if you're in small business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a salesperson, you can't afford to isolate. You have to insulate with a good network. You can't afford to socially distance. You need to distance yourself physically, but stay social in order to continue to grow your business. And so we saw tons of headlines all across the news media talking about the impact on small business. And during that impact, it really was about, hey, how do we support them? We need to buy some gift cards. We need to do takeout orders and all those type of things. But what I knew was that what I could do was do something immediately. And I started writing, and I started just pouring out. And I wrote the book, Networking in the New Normal. That's right, Networking in the New Normal. And whenever I wrote this book, it poured out. I started writing it. And I published it in July, and it hit the #1 best-selling list on Amazon in the small business category. And what I knew was that it just needed to get the information into people's hands. I wanted to help any way that I possibly could. This book hit every major news outlet. I mean, it aired on over 400 plus news media outlet, just everywhere. And here's the gist. We're going to get in right away. What I knew was that businesses need to make more sales, right? If you're watching this webinar right now, you probably came here with, I need to make more sales, and how do I do it? And the answer is still the same. It's always been the same. You need to do more networking. You've got to build a network. You've got to create a community of people that you can provide content to, that you can provide products to, that you can provide services to, for them to be able to make purchases from you and get those sales. But the problem is most people don't even know how to do networking and do it well, let alone how to do it in the new normal, how to do it in this virtual environment. So we're going to dive into some of those things today. So the first thing we're going to start with are the 5 types of networking. Now you may have thinking, oh my gosh, I had no idea there were so many, but there's 5 types of networking. So we're going to start with close contact. Close contact organizations like Master Networks, BNI, LaTip, Gold Star, Biz2Biz, and so on. These are one person per profession. They meet in small groups, on average about 20-ish some people, and they meet weekly. They require attendance. They do lots of tracking, which is what makes them so good. Then you've got online social networks. Even if you're not in business, you're probably doing some of these, right? You're on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so on. And even like I said, if you're not in business, you're doing those still, but that's a type of networking. Then you've got associations. This is where these are specific to your industry. And this is where you are sharpening saws and you are working with people and networking with people who are in your industry, but maybe you have a different target market, but you're still able to help one another. And then service clubs. Service clubs is one of my favorites, and service clubs is where you're giving back to your community. So think Rotary, Kiwanis, Lions Clubs, Optimus, and so on. And you don't join a service club to grow your business. You join a service club to give back to your community. And then the 5th one, the last one, is open contact, right? That's where Accelerated Global Connections lies, Chamber of Commerce, Network After Work, First Thursdays. And these are literally feeders for the others, right? And so you're probably wondering, all these networks, how do you choose? Well, the answer is you really don't choose. You diversify your networks. You see, I don't know how many people I talk to that go, I said, so are you doing any networking? And they said, yes, I'm networking. Tell me about how you're networking. Well, I go to this one meeting every single week and I meet with the same people, the same 20 people every single week. And I go, really? And this is networking. And so let's put it into context, right? So think about let's back up, right? If we look at this screen and you look at how many social media things that you're doing, you're probably not just on Facebook. You're probably not just on LinkedIn. You're probably not just on Instagram. You're in all of those, right? Yet these are social networks and you're in lots of them. And you've really only chosen one other network to participate into. So think about how you're using social media. If you're streaming all of that content in, right? Because you don't want it just from Facebook. You don't want it just from Instagram. You don't want it just from LinkedIn. You want all of them. Much of the way that you stream TV. So if you stream TV, you probably choose, for example, maybe Netflix, right, is a popular one. Maybe you're on also Amazon Prime. Maybe you're doing Hulu. Maybe you're doing YouTube. But you're not just choosing one way to stream that content in. You want to have multiple ways to watch all the favorite programs that you have. And it's the same way in your business. You can't afford to just choose one. You have to diversify your networks. And what that means is that you want to stream new opportunities in from multiple networks. You want to stream new opportunities and new relationships in from multiple networks. You want to stream new referrals in from multiple networks, new income from multiple networks. Don't choose one, you diversify. So now we're digging into the fact that you can't go to these in-person meetings right now, right? Because the media, the government, they're all saying, stay at home, stay safe, isolate. Well, guys, it's never been more readily available to you than it is right now, because you can do it at the touch of a button, and you can get into most all of these organizations, and you can do it virtually online, right? So let's talk about what to do in these networks. First of all, stop selling. Now, wait a minute. I know I just told you earlier it's all about sales. But I'm going to say that networking is a long-term approach, right? Which means that you have all these people attending these networking events, and they're all going into this networks, and everybody has something to sell. If I ask you the question, said, how many of you here came to this webinar and you have something to sell today? You'd all raise your hands. If I asked you, how many of you came here to buy something today? No one would raise their hands, because they're not there to buy. So stop selling. What you're really about is the relationships. You've got to form relationships, right? It's not just about that one-time transaction. You want multi-transactions. It's not about that one relationship. You want to turn it into multi-relationships. It's not about that one sell. You want to turn it into multiple sells, and so on. So it's all about the relationships. And getting to trust. Trust takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, right? Sorry. And you have to really make an effort to get to that trust, okay? So trust is the key in order for you to get to referrals. So when you think about networking, it's all about helping others. Come to these networking environments with the idea of, I'm here to learn and I'm here to help. If you go into it with, I'm here to learn and I'm here to help, you will always have the opportunity to gain from that, because you're coming into it with the right direction. So it's about service, it's about support, it's about assistance, it's about helping others. And when you do that, and you build those relationships and you get to trust and you're there to help others, that's what leads to referrals. Now, referrals is the golden word, right? It's not leads or cold calls. It's really about, hey, I trust you and I want to do business with you and I want to refer business to you. That's what we're all trying to get to, okay? And once you get those referrals, you got to know it's about follow-up. Now, I'm not going to spend much time on follow-up today, because I know Lois is going to spend lots of time on follow-up. But remember, you've got to follow up, and you got to do it in multiple ways. It really is being diligent about making sure that everyone has that opportunity to buy. You see, I said earlier, no one, it's not about selling, right? Because no one wants to be sold to, okay? No one wants to be sold to. However, people do love to buy, and you've got to just help them find the right way to buy from you, okay? So we're going to get into that a little bit more. We're going to help you make more money through your networking, all right? So remember, networking is the long game. So first of all, remember, don't expect you to attend a meeting and walk away with lots of referrals and lots of new business, right? It is a long-term approach. Relationships take time. Trust takes time. It's the long-term approach, but it matters, right? I mean, like, it's going to make a huge difference over time, because referrals are more likely to stay with you longer. Referrals are most likely to spend more money with you, because there's that level of trust. A referral is more likely to send you future referrals in the future, because that's how they came to you in the first place, right? And so, guys, referrals is the answer. Even if it takes longer to get there, it will replenish your business way more over time. So it is the long game. So let's get back into that new normal. Right in the palm of your hand, on your phone right now, you have really all these abilities to network from your home office, to network from your living room if you need to. And you can do that on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and many, many more, right? So let's talk about LinkedIn, all right? A lot of people think that LinkedIn is only for if I'm searching for a job, but that's not the case. LinkedIn, by the way, is the steady Eddie of all social media networks. And what I mean by that is, there's waves and differences of how things are going. Like, Instagram's really popular, Facebook's really popular, Twitter got really popular, and so on. But LinkedIn just stays. It just stays right there. You need to be on LinkedIn. You need to be publishing content on LinkedIn. More importantly, you need to be connecting with others on LinkedIn. Send them a message when you send a connection request. Don't just send a plain request, send it with a message, right? Get into groups on LinkedIn. We're going to talk more about groups in just a moment, but you've got to stay active where other professionals are. LinkedIn is the most business out of all those social media networks. Facebook. Facebook is a great place for business. It's not just a place to connect with friends, even though that's what we call them. We're friending someone, right? But you want to stay relevant with your business. And remember, whatever you say on Facebook represents your brand. So be careful with your image. You know, people will either cut off whether they're going to do business with you or not do business with you based upon what you're putting on Facebook. But let's get into groups a little bit, all right? Groups is one of my favorite ways to connect and one of my favorite ways to network in this new normal. Because it's not just enough to post. It's not just enough to run ads. It's really about connecting authentically and taking those relationships offline, okay? And so we're going to talk about what that will look like. Getting in groups and being active. You know, first of all, post inside groups, comment inside groups, start conversations inside groups, but use groups as a way to connect. Matter of fact, here's a really great tool inside most groups, and that's the video messenger room. If you haven't used this yet, this is gold, by the way. So in most all groups that are created, you have the ability to create your own messenger room, and you can go into that room and you can invite others to come with you. And because you're inviting, you get to start the conversation. It could be just a conversation with you and one other person. It could be a group conversation. You could have a topic, set yourself up as the expert for this topic. But messenger rooms can be really big for creating opportunity for you to connect and do more business and share more opportunities inside these messenger rooms and groups, okay? So now let's talk about the ultimate goal, right? And Zoom, right? We're watching today's webinar on Zoom, and this is a webinar versus a meeting. Now, I attend a lot of Zoom meetings. Zoom meetings is important. And so as you're attending in these networks, so like if you're going to AGC or you're going to Master Networks or you're going to any of the others, right? You're attending a chamber function on Zoom. All right. If you're doing that on Zoom, you want to be participating by dropping information into the chat, asking questions, stand out so others see you. You also want to drop your comments like around your name, your business, your contact information into the chat so that you're networking. And also you have the ability to do that in front of everyone, right? So everyone can see it. And then you can save the chat when you're done so you can connect with them afterwards. But also you can send a private chat to someone inside the Zoom meeting so that you can start these little conversations that you're having during the Zoom meeting. Guys, Zoom is a huge, and GoToMeeting and all these different availabilities to do video meetings are super, super important. Super ways for you to be able to connect and do more business. So inside these Zoom meetings, the real ultimate goal is not to just attend the meeting, but to connect to do a one-to-one or a face-to-face with someone else. So out of all the people that are in this webinar today, and if you could see them, right, if this was a meeting type Zoom, you could pick out a few of those people based upon their industry or their profession and say, hey, I'd love to connect to you for a private Zoom meeting. Are you available? I'd love to get something in our calendar where we can get to know each other better. And you're going to take those opportunities into those singular times to meet, to grow, to share, to help, to really network and start those relationships. What I know is this: in all of that, you're going to form one of a few things. Either a new relationship, it's just going to be a friend. You're going to form an opportunity to do business. They might need your product or service. Or the golden one, you're going to form a new referral partner. They may not ever use you, but they're going to send you lots of business. That is huge opportunity. So as we get ready to wrap up my portion, holy smokes, 20 minutes goes by fast, and I spoke as fast as I could. Networking as a whole has been moving in this direction for a long time. So whenever I started AGC, I knew it needed to be developed for millennials. I knew that it had to be developed for the next generation, Z and so on, because they're buying differently than they did 35 years ago, 50 years ago. And it needs to be more fast moving in technology and social and so on. So if you've been stuck networking in the old way, driving this old Model T here, maybe you just want to step up to something new. Right? Maybe you want to get up to today's times in 2020, and a pandemic has rushed that in for all of us. And so I'm inviting you to network with me and network with Lois and network with others in the new normal and make it count for you. So I'm going to finish up with this. If you like what you heard, and I just gave you a little taste of it, I'm going to give you these two offers, okay? First of all, you can go to my website, networkinginthenewnormal.com. And you can order the book, right? Remember the book, Networking in the New Normal. You can do that in multiple ways. You can get it for $0, if you have the Kindle version, right? If you want to get it for $5, you can get it in, if you're Kindle Unlimited, that is for $0. You can get it in Kindle just for $5, or you can get the print copy for just under 10. But here's the real meat on the potatoes. Here is the thing that is going to make the difference for you in your business. I run a mastermind group with a tremendous group of people. They're just high-level quality professionals. Every single day, there's networking activities inside that group. Every single day, or every single week, I do a live coaching session inside that group on a variety of topics. And I'm inviting you to participate. It's only $100. If you want to do the mastermind group, you go to networkinginthenewnormal.com. It's $100 a month to participate. If you sign up for the mastermind group, even if you only stay for a month, which I don't think you will, like you'll keep doing it because you're going to love it. If you sign up for the mastermind group, I will send you the book for free. That's right. That's my offer to you. I'll send it to you for free if you sign up for the mastermind group. And with that, I'm going to say thank you so much for allowing me the first 20 minutes to share with you. And at this time, I'm excited because I get to introduce my good friend, my webinar co-partner, this amazing person, Coach Lois Kofi. She is a success coach and just one of a few hundred certified 12-week year trainers in the world. As a recovering workaholic who has worked from home for the past 13 years, it's not new to Lois, she has excelled in setting and keeping healthy boundaries. Learn how to say no and make more money in less time while working from home and mastering the principles she teaches her clients, such as she's a two-time Ironman triathlete. She's a two-time published author. She's a top 10 podcaster in entrepreneurship, and she lives in Southern California with her family, all while growing a global business. I'm super excited to give the stage to Lois. Thank you, Lois. I can't wait to hear your presentation.
Awesome. Well, that was amazing. Yay. Round of applause. I know we can't see everyone, and there are already people who had questions. So Travis is going to answer the questions at the end. So please save your questions for the end. And I'm super honored to serve the platform today with Travis because, like he said, he's my brother from another mother, and we both are cut from the same cloth. And that's kind of my story, even though, yes, I've worked from home for 13 years. I was still face-to-face, belly-to-belly. So Travis and I helped him launch AGC in Minnesota, going to help him, have an organization out here. But I was not just working from home and navigating online. I didn't have an email campaign. My fortune in the follow-up was phone calls, face-to-face, belly-to-belly, in-person meetings. So I was blindsided by the pandemic. And I will tell you, I actually officially launched my business this year with Lois Kofi Enterprises, and I'm not that much further ahead than you. I really, truly believe this. I started out making $0 a month online because, again, everything was offline for me, to making roughly $14,000 last month, all through online marketing and all the things that I'm going to teach you right here, right now. So again, please take notes and we'll answer your questions at the end. And let me tell you guys, if I can do that, you can do that. So like I said, Lois Kofi Enterprises, I'm the owner. I'm a professional speaker, sales success coach, and I just launched a podcast this year too. And I didn't do it alone. I had a lot of coaches and mentors, and that's what I did right away when COVID hit. Was I reached out to my coaches and mentors and I said, I don't know how to do this thing called networking online. I really didn't. What I did know was I translated the tools from my sales processes. I've been in sales for 20 years. I've sold everything from real estate to fitness to MLM products, and now of course myself. And every sales process starts with daily lead generation. So the fortune is absolutely in the follow-up, but where do you start? And Travis gave us a bunch of tools. And you meet someone on Zoom, get them offline, and then what? Remember, people didn't show up today to buy from you, right? It's all about their timing. And, you know, some people argue these stats, and I suppose it depends a little bit on your industry, but I'm here to tell you guys, whether I was selling a cup of coffee, although, you know, coffee is easier because it's kind of an addictive substance, right? But I still had to follow up. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So how do you do that in this new normal? How many of you have ever messaged someone on Facebook or LinkedIn and they ghosted you, right? How many of you have called people and they never called you back, or texted people and they never texted you back? Do you have a plan in this new normal since you can't meet people face to face? So the number one thing that I did really, really quickly this year was I learned online skills. Thankfully, I had already been pretty decent at Zoom, but I heavily went into doing weekly repetitions, weekly Zooms, sometimes even twice a week, where I was presenting to someone, to that prospect, or a one-to-many webinar. So no matter what, guys, we're going to be in this for kind of a long haul. I don't have a crystal ball, but it's not too late to pivot. It's not too late to learn new online skills. So put a plan together now, build it for the future. And guess what, guys, no matter what happens, even if everything goes back to quote unquote normal next year, which I kind of doubt, you learn these skills, they can't take those away from you. Even if another recession hits, you know, in the next 8 to 10 years, because there's usually one every 8 years, I learned how to do teleseminars during the Great Recession. I actually was homeless. I lost everything. I had to start all over. That's actually when I really understood I needed to diversify. And I still didn't understand online marketing, none of that. Facebook was barely born, but I still have that product in audio form and I still sell it today. And it's because I took the time in that Great Recession to learn an online skill. Then what do you do next? Through those skills, you can attract your tribe. Now, Travis talked about Facebook groups. I have a Facebook group. I didn't before COVID. I was actually kind of confused by Facebook groups. I'm like, how do you navigate? Why can't, you know, I just call people like I did before? Why can't I just meet people in person? Well, you know, when COVID hit, I had to embrace something new. I had to open my mind. So do you have a YouTube channel? That could be an online skill. I actually have had coaching clients. They would meet with me as part of a one-on-one free coaching session, and they didn't hire me on the spot. Remember, 80% of the sales happen on the 5th to 12th contact. Well, with that YouTube channel, after that free session, that client went and he studied my YouTube channel. And because I pivoted quickly and I started creating weekly webinars and pushing that into YouTube, where, oh, by the way, this webinar is going into YouTube as well. So he could stalk me, size me up, and decide, you know what? I like Lois. I like her messaging in YouTube. I'm going to work with her. And now he's spent over $3,000 with me since June. Do you have a Facebook fan page? Do you know what StreamYard is? I didn't know what StreamYard was. Linda, I know you're out there. Linda referred me to StreamYard. Phenomenal option to be able to stream to multiple platforms, including YouTube. So you can actually save time and get it all done with just one thing and push it out there to multiple platforms, including LinkedIn. Blogs, do you want to start a blog? I did start a blog in the recession and I monetized it for a while and then it kind of fell off. thankfully, I realized, oh my gosh, I need a blog. I like to write. I'm going to be able to now do that. And it's another way for people to size me up and look at what I have going on. Do you want to publish an ebook? Do you have or have a desire for an affiliate program to help attract your tribe? A lot of my mentors have their own affiliate programs that help me market them, just like me and Travis. We're both a part of each other's affiliate program. So who do you know in your life that you can actually have them get paid for their referrals to your stuff? Do you want to start a podcast? I started a podcast. I did hire a coach. I don't recommend not having one. Personally, I think coaching is really, really important, especially if that person's the expert. And I was able to get a lot of clients through attracting them through my podcast. Do you want to get more active on LinkedIn? I'm not a LinkedIn expert, but I've had LinkedIn experts in my coaching programs and as guest speakers on my podcast. And there's such a wealth of knowledge out there. Just pick one. I want you to go ahead right now and write down which one of these on this page, or if you think of another one. I didn't put Pinterest on here. I'm sure you could think of another one, or maybe you want to just commit to doing a weekly Zoom where you're sharing your best tips and tricks, whether it's through Zoom or through Facebook Live. I didn't put Facebook Live on here, but pick one thing, maybe have a second, and I want you to write down right now, how am I going to get better? What online skill am I going to improve upon? Because just one little stepping stone like that could make you a lot of money, like my YouTube channel. I also have a client who had a YouTube channel and he more than doubled his subscribers during the pandemic. And guess what? He got a phone call one day from some CEO executive in the Maldives, somewhere over there near India, and said, hey, we want to hire you. We want to fly you to the Maldives. If you don't know where that is, it's by the Seychelles. It's a gorgeous place. I mean, beautiful in the middle of the Indian Ocean. And we're going to pay for your trip. We're going to pay you to lead and do some trainings, just a couple here and there every day, not the whole day, so not exhaustive. You got to do yoga on the beach. I mean, all this kind of crazy stuff because he got better at his YouTube channel. So commit to one, maybe two. Then what happens when someone says, hey, I saw your podcast, or hey, I saw your Facebook group. I really like what you're posting in your Facebook group, Lois. Can you tell me more? Well, the first things first in networking, even when it's online, even if it's over Messenger, even if it's, you know, in one of those Zoom room or chats like Travis was talking about, listen first and form the relationship. Ask questions. Sales is all about he or she who asks the most questions wins, because that shows you care. People don't really care how much you know until they know how much you care. And it's because you ask the most questions. And this is an acronym I've used ever since my real estate days. So 20 years strong, guys. Fun in the fundamentals, man. Just going back to the basics, even on social media. So the first question is, how's your family? You know, you might want to know before you maybe have a prospecting appointment conversation with them. You might want to know if someone is sick. Maybe someone just died. You know, ask them, how's your family? Because usually that's one of the most important things to them. O stands for occupation. So you're going to want to write this down. F for family, O for occupation. How is work going? You might want to know if they just lost their job, or you might want to know if their sales are down. You might want to be able to have some kind of positive response to encourage them and show empathy and really connect at the heart level, even if it's on Messenger. And most of you know this. You can do video responses. You can record responses. That's why I'm a much bigger fan of using Messenger as opposed to texting. WhatsApp, Voxer, there's all these different apps you can get connected with people on. Hearing the voice and the empathy goes a long, long way. R, recreation. R stands for recreation. What did you do this weekend, or what are you going to do this upcoming weekend? That says a lot about their habits, their hobbies. And again, if you have a shared interest, like let's say they're going to the, you know, going to actually go to a big game or going to watch the big game on the TV screen, and you happen to have the same favorite football team, right? They will do business more likely with you because there's a shared interest. And then of course, M is mission or message. Also, I have called this the FORD acronym. So it could be dreams, but Ford the relationship didn't sound as good as form the relationship. So it's easier to remember. But what is their mission in life? What is their purpose? What gets them out of bed every day? And you don't even have to use all of these letters. Just connect like a human being instead of spamming them with your link or spamming them with your opportunity. That doesn't work, right? Think about it if you were in their shoes. So connect with people online, get them offline, you know, schedule that meeting. I'm going to talk about that here as I start to wrap it up, but make a goal. How many people can you authentically connect with online and schedule to get offline on a daily basis? If you don't have a number, who knows? You're just kind of running in a direction without a roadmap, in my opinion. So say it's 2 people a day, 1, 5. I have a goal of 5 every day because I really, really want to build my network and build my business massive, you know, and taking massive action. But you pick your number, get them offline, and how many of those connections can get you closer to your goals and dreams. Of course, the fortune is in the follow-up. You got to have systems. You got to have tools. I've been fortunate, you know, my mentors have referred me to a lot of different ones. So I have my tools, but do you have yours? How are you staying visible and building credibility? Do you have a CRM? If you don't know what that is, Google it, otherwise known as a client relationship manager. What do you use? What is the goal of that client relationship manager? Do you want it to remind you who you're calling and when? Do you want it to be able to have email lists and email campaigns? Do you want to be able to have some kind of landing pages? You know, I'm kind of turning it into like Infusionsoft, ClickFunnels. I use NowSite and Infusionsoft. You know, sometimes you might use a couple different tools because they have different things. Do you need e-commerce or do you not? I'm a huge fan of landing pages. A year ago, I spent thousands of dollars on a very expensive website, which I'm still paying for to this day. And it's beautiful, but it wasn't converting. I found out because both of my coaches, I have 2 coaches that I work with, they say websites are kind of a thing of the past, Lois. You've got to have landing pages. Landing pages are like your digital business card. Travis and I had a landing page for this event. So you didn't have to go hunt and peck in a big old website that might have too much information and send you off to another website, right? We made sure that you had a landing page so you got the information. You can make a quick decision whether or not this webinar was for you. Same thing with your products and services. I have sent my landing page with permission. When people ask, what do you do? I'll send them a landing page specific to a program that I have. And I've had people actually become customers almost immediately because it happened to work that they really needed what I had to share. But again, it didn't feel like selling. And of course, email campaigns. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that on this next page. So once you get someone into your funnel, I have always believed fortune's in the follow-up and you're not pushing, you're not pushing, you're not pushing. You're doing a dance between finding out what are their needs, how can you help, which is what Travis talked about so beautifully, and how can you stay relevant, visible, and credible, and a resource for them? If nothing else, can you become a resource? So my goal when I meet someone and I feel like there's a connection, an authentic connection, I'm not even thinking about how can I close this person on a sale, is how can we become referral partners? Maybe they could even become an affiliate for me. So I've always had what I call my 8x8 campaign. This is a signature. This is part of my Kofi sales formula, the fortunes and the follow-up. And thankfully, I had gotten really good at it online. I know Sarah Routman is here today. She's like, Lois, you're so good at follow-up. And to be honest with you, it's because I learned it in real estate sales. My coaches told me, you've got to stay in touch. You got to have reasons to follow up with people. Well, now I've converted that into email campaigns that I monetize. And I have a free course next week if anybody wants to attend that talks about this in much, much, much greater detail. This is just scratching the surface because we don't have a lot of time. But 8 touches, if you go back to that slide earlier, 5 to 12 touches is usually when the sale happens. Now for me, and this is just an example, you can take a screenshot of this. This is just one example. Everybody's got to be personally coached to find their best secret sauce for follow-up. For me, I still do phone calls if I have their phone number, but I definitely get them into my email campaign. I follow up. I have a welcome campaign. It's a nurture series. Now it started with 5. Because again, I didn't know what I was doing. So I started with 5, now I have 8. 8 touches right? Because I'm bringing in 5 leads a day into my funnel. That's a goal, something I've built into. Don't make my goal your goal, just giving you an autobiographic example. I started with less than that. And now I have an email list. I've started with 0. Now I have almost 5,000 subscribers. And that was just, I started really in June, you guys. So if you have a list of 1,000 subscribers or more, it's been proven that you can have $1 million business. So your 8 touches could be emails. It could be a combination of Banner Season. I know we have some people, Travis and I, we both use Banner Season. I still love sending things in the mail. Do you get them to a webinar? You know, all of these things you got to think about in that follow-up process. And once you create it, it's a system, right? System stands for save yourself stress, time, energy, and money. Again, save yourself stress, time, energy, and money. Once you create it once, it's rinse and repeat. Just do it every single day and you will make a lot of money. And again, this is a large part how I went from $0 online to $14,000 last month in really just the last 7 months. And lastly, be a master steward of your time and energy. We're all given the same 24 hours in a day. And I see a lot of people, they're stressing out. And I ask them questions like, how many Zooms are you attending a day? And how many contacts are you pulling? How many meetings and appointments are you setting up? How many people are you getting into your 8x8 campaign, your follow-up funnel? And most people are like, what? I didn't know that was a thing. So I'm telling you now, be on purpose, be intentional. You know, you really, really, really appreciate you guys taking an hour of your time today to be with us. We don't take that for granted. We wanted to pour into you and give you a lot of value. So this was about learning. The more you learn, the more you earn. But when you're setting appointments, always respect other people's time, show respect, but have a plan. What are you going to accomplish during that networking Zoom or whatever it is? Set the agenda, agree to it, and by the end, you may have a new friend, who knows, maybe even a new customer. If you haven't read it, the book, The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran. He actually came into my life about 6 years ago as a mentor. And I won't lie, as a mom and juggling all of the things, I was a bit spread thin. And I forgot about the basics, structuring your days so that you have structure and predictability and don't overcommit. Like I said, I'm a recovering workaholic, emphasis on recovering. I'm still recovering, but I used to say yes to everything. And I did that initially at the beginning of the pandemic. And then I really weighed my options. I was more conscious of, is that really the best use of my time? And again, because I now have all of these monetizable follow-up systems, you create it once, it's always there, I can afford to say no to a lot of things that are kind of a waste of my time. So come up with your daily compass, your daily habits, your daily income producing activities, figure out your ideal model work week, and set a goal. How many hours a week, a day, or per week you want to work? And even don't forget to set aside that time to learn a new skill. So again, I am a certified 12-week year trainer. If you ever have questions about that, I'm really passionate about productivity and efficiency and helping you make money while you sleep. You don't have to be great to start, but you do got to start somewhere to be great. So read that book, it'll blow your mind. So what does it take to be great? It takes execution. And Travis shared with you his mastermind. I'm going to share with you some quick testimonials of clients who have worked with me since the pandemic. Kathy, I met her in March, actually because of Travis. We met inside of Accelerated Global Connections. So that was a huge, huge referral. And she had both of her businesses as a musician and a travel agent, both shut down, income gone. Just these 6 months later, I've helped her triple her income, find email campaigns, create better authentic relationships, manage her time better, and she's much, much happier and much more excited about life. Kathy, she actually started with me before COVID. She did the 12-week year. She did a 12-week program and then graduated into my monthly membership program, which I'm going to share with you guys today. And she really got clear. And now, a year later, after starting with me, she bought her first home ever. And that was a goal, a 12-week year goal, and we took a big chunk out of it. And amidst the pandemic, you'd think buying a house might seem a little scary, a little daunting. Now she's in her dream home. Her business is thriving. Her sales team is thriving because they're all using the 12-week year principles. And last but not least, podcasters and coaches are great referrals for me. A lot of them don't know about the psychology of sales processes and income producing activities to monetize not only their podcast, but their coaching business. And so Tammy had a great experience working with me as well. So in summary, my monthly program is $97 a month, month to month. Basically, it includes 3 hours of coaching every month, which is a $1,500 value, helping you build that sales champion online mindset, helping you build your 8x8 campaign, the fortunes and the follow-up, managing your time with the 12-week year principles, building an audience and talking about repurposing content that will last, being able to finish 2020 stronger than hopefully, potentially, I should say, you started, helping you cast that vision and rocket launch into 2021. That's a private Facebook coaching group. You get to network with like-minded people, and it does include a 1-hour coaching session with me that's also valued at $500. So just $97 a month. I'll drop that link, and in the next 24 hours or the next 5 hours, whenever the first 5 people, I'll also give you that course that I mentioned earlier. It's an evergreen 3-hour list build course that you can keep for life. And finally, before we open it up for Q&A, the first 2 people that buy both of our programs from Travis and myself, I'll give you 1 month free trial of my digital marketing platform. That's part of the secret sauce that does all my email campaigns, that does all my landing pages, that does all of the things that has really, really helped get me systematically organized in this online marketing digital age. And I do have a motivational quote, but we'll stop share and save that for the very, very end. I'm going to go ahead and see if we have, I saw a lot of chats, but I didn't read. Talk about the pros and cons of YouTube and Vimeo. So guys, if you can go ahead and start throwing in your questions. And then Travis, if you want to join me. I don't know a whole lot about Vimeo. I really just discovered it this year. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Go for it.
Oh, I love Vimeo. And so I'm actually very active on both YouTube and Vimeo. I've got about a little over 200 videos available on YouTube and a little over 100 available on Vimeo. And so YouTube is real brand awareness. I mean, it's like able to reach masses, right? And majority of the people are on YouTube. However, Vimeo is a real, it's a narrowed audience, but they're there for quality content. And Vimeo also allows you to monetize, you know, your videos. So you can create subscriptions. You can put them into watch groups. There's lots of cool things you can do with Vimeo. And the other thing that I really like about Vimeo is that it doesn't take you away from your page. So like if someone's watching your content and they finish the video, it doesn't offer them anything else. It sticks them right there on your page. So you keep that person in front of your content. So I think there's some really good benefits to Vimeo. Hope that helps.
That's awesome. That was great, Travis. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I've heard some of those things as well. Would you say, Travis, does it make sense for someone to do both? Like I've done really, really well with YouTube.
Yeah, if you have content to sell, Vimeo is a great place to do it. It does cost to be on Vimeo, so it's not expensive. I think my subscription is about $600 a year to be on Vimeo and host my content there and be able to have the amount of content that I do have. So, but I've found it valuable if you're creating courses, if you're a coach, a trainer, a speaker, a teacher, you might really like Vimeo.
Cool. And I think I saw some of the questions got answered. Let me go back over here. I want to provide IT cloud consulting services as a company. Should I do Vimeo or YouTube videos of technical things? I think the more content, it's all about adding value, right? And giving. The more you can share and repurpose it, right? One of my mentors taught me how to repurpose videos. And you can do so much. Just start building now, and you'd be surprised if you can even set a goal, 1 video a week, or if you can even do 1 video a day. It might be aggressive, but the more content you have out there, you'd be surprised how many people don't have very much content. And in your industry, Samin, you could probably really set yourself apart.
I'll add too that Vimeo allows me to host my content on Roku TV as well as Amazon Fire TV. Only can you do that through Vimeo versus YouTube. So you have to go through some things to make it all happen, but it's not too difficult. So we host all of our AGC talks on Roku TV and Amazon Fire TV through Vimeo.
And the other consideration for those of you who are considering YouTube versus Vimeo, StreamYard, which thank you, Linda. Linda shared my resources page, super supporter, how you can find StreamYard. But StreamYard streams directly to YouTube Live. And YouTube Live, I've actually had people show up and watch it. And so StreamYard doesn't stream to Vimeo. So it just takes extra time. Ryan asked if we end up setting up Zoom meetings, when is the best time to do this for other businesses? I think if I understand your question, Ryan, I say the best time is whatever time you can commit to. I don't necessarily believe that there's a best hour of the day to do these things, but Travis, do you have any other thoughts on that?
I always think about it just the same way I do my workday. So I like to do a meeting early in the morning before I get to my workday. So it's a way to start my day. I also like that middle of the day during what would be considered a lunch hour, as well as right before the end of the day. Like I'm going to catch something right before I leave. So we host a huge portion of our AGC events in that 3 to 5 window, because it falls within that. I'm going to attend this thing, then I'm going to leave my home office and go have dinner with the family. So those are my favorite 3 time slots.
Awesome. And it also depends on your business. I'm very global. I live in California. I have clients in Dubai, Europe, different places. So you also have to keep that in mind. Know your audience a little bit. Are you going after the entrepreneurs that are moms and dads? You definitely want to do a daytime event then versus an evening. So you also want to think about your dream customer, where they can be found in different times of day. But I still go back to it's what's best for you. I've got different questions coming from different areas. So hold on a second. Would it be good to add people from a networking group into an email list? Obviously with their permission, David, but absolutely. As long as I don't add people without their permission, and then I opt in or I send them a landing page. That's why landing pages are critical. You can just say, here, opt in at my email list. Here's my landing page. Shanna, I'm not sure people can really see my YouTube. How do I get it to show up better? That's what I love about YouTube. Again, I don't know much about Vimeo, but on YouTube, you can share it to Twitter. You can get embed code and put it in your blog. You can share it to LinkedIn. You can share it to Facebook. I do a lot of sharing. And then, of course, I email it out to my list. I send emails to my list with different podcast recordings that were on YouTube. That's the one of the ways. And it also depends on how else you're marketing digitally. Do you have anything else to add to that, Travis?
I wish there was a magic bullet for that, but there's not. It's organic and it takes time, and you have to just do it in a multitude of ways and be consistently sharing. And you can also set goals and share the goal with your following. So if I was on social media and let's say I had 500 followers on YouTube and I wanted to get to 600, I'd say, hey, I only need 74 more, and I'd increment up, and people that are watching but not subscribing may go, all right, I'll help him hit his goal. So that's one way to build your audience.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a big fan of warm market. If you don't have much of a warm market, though, people can still find you. I've had total strangers find me on YouTube and buy stuff. And I was like, whoa, this works. I already answered Samin's question. I did type it, but I'll speak it so other people can maybe hear. I want to provide IT training through which I can then also hire people into your company, which is great. I've helped people hire and recruit. Should I sell training on Zoom or just do it for free? Do both. And.
Small content for free, big content for people to purchase. Think of it like a teaser.
Yeah. Awesome. So Sarah Routman, so many people have pivoted to using and offering Zoom. Do you have any tips about how to overcome Zoom fatigue? That's why, I'll be honest, I am doing less webinars. This is one of the, I guess, only one actually, I think that I'm doing this month that's specific to marketing my business. I do more on my podcast, Sarah. So I have pivoted more to, my ideal customer is a podcast consumer. I know their income, all of those kinds of things, and they can consume it on their own time. Very, very, very popular. So kind of know your audience, but yeah, that's why Travis and I, we marketed this together. Sometimes joint webinars, you kill two birds with one stone, right? And we're having fun. We're helping each other out, giving you guys more value. But yeah, I think you have to put your business plan together, your sales and marketing plan for 2021. I will tell you, I tried to do weekly webinars because that was what my coach was doing, but I recognized, oh boy, I'm comparing my point A to his point B. He had been doing weekly webinars for years. And Sarah, you know who I'm talking about, Eric Lofholm, right? I did them weekly as a sales webinar, and I burned out myself, even just because I wasn't developed enough in that muscle. So you kind of got to decide what's in your business plan and what works best for you. Anything else to add to that?
No, I think you nailed it. I mean, set boundaries too. You know, I probably spend way more time on Zoom. I average anywhere from 3 to 5 Zoom meetings a day during the work week. But at 5 o'clock, I shut it off. You know, the weekends I guard with my life because I've got to have that balance. And especially with a home office, everyone's working way more hours than they did when they went into the office, because it's right there and it's in your home and it's so accessible. So set healthy boundaries.
That's awesome. Love it. Love it. Daryl, you asked who has a template for a good landing page. Here's some great coaching on that I got from my coach. Study your competition's landing pages. I just spent an hour today researching my competition's Facebook ads and landing pages. You take the best, you leave the rest. You got to have your own brand. Don't copycat someone 100%. And just kind of, I have an assistant also who helps me with my landing pages, and she's pretty seasoned. She's actually, you know, helped me and Travis build the one that you signed up for this course. But I would say study your competition, but also create your own kind of image, your own brand that sets you apart from your competition. So you have landing pages all over the internet. You can absolutely, and if you need help with that, Daryl, let me know, because I do work with my clients on that. Any more questions? Otherwise, we will wrap it up with a motivational quote. And anything else you want to add, Travis?
You know, I'll just add that first of all, this has been so much fun. Lois, thank you for teaming up together to do this. And I'm just honored and thrilled to co-present with you. And both of us, I think, brought some really great content to the table and big teasers for what you have to offer. And I mean, like, I want to sign up for all of Lois's stuff, right? and I hope that there's a few of you that liked what Travis had to say. So we're just giving you just a little taste of what's available, and there's so much more there. So thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. Yeah. And Ryan, I typed an answer, but just he was saying, and this is part of my training. I actually train on that free offer, that class, and I'll email everyone about that. I train on this. When you go into Facebook and you're looking for specific types of businesses.
Thanks, Sean Waite.
But
Oh,
you made Travis
funny.
blush. That's adorable. Anyway,
he's funny.
So you can go to Facebook and just go into the search and just type Minneapolis local businesses if you want. But if you have a target avatar, a dream customer like me, I'm in a bunch of groups in Facebook that are filled with speakers, coaches, and authors, because those are my clients, right? Yep. Those are my dream customers. So just go in and type, you know, some of the best professions or best types of businesses you want to find and put Minneapolis, and you'll be surprised how much stuff you find in both Facebook and LinkedIn.
Tons. Love it. I spent a lot of time in groups in both places.
Sean.
King and awesome. The Queen. That's awesome. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you, my friend.
Yeah, we'd love your feedback, guys. We'd love to, you know, we're not going to, at least I haven't created one, Travis. We're not going to send a survey. I do have to run and hop on to the next call, so I'll close it out. But we do want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what you liked best, because I'm hopeful that maybe we'll team up again like Batman and Robin very soon. So really quickly, one of my favorites, you know, no matter what, hopefully you take action today from what we talked about. Don't just waste your time attending and getting another dopamine hit, right? Go out, do one thing from this call that scares you. that literally has you shaking in your booties, and you will change your life. I was terrified in doing a lot of the things that I've done this year, but if I hadn't gone forward and done it anyway, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So thanks, Travis. Thank everybody, and I will
Yes.
get the recording sent out to you guys by tonight. All right. Thanks, guys.